last two things we're actually going to introduce with this order of operations stuff before we start hitting the negative numbers. And, well, depending on when you're watching this, I guess. But the two things we're talking about the big division bar, and we're going to talk about what happens if you have a number outside a parenthesis with no symbol in the middle. What do you do? The big division bar is pretty easy. You do everything on top of the big division bar, everything on the bottom of the big division bar, and then you actually divide the two values that you get, the top divided by the bottom. So for example, for this problem right here, in the top, I would do 4 times 6 first, which would be 24. And then 24 plus 4 is 28. So my top value here above the division line is 28. My bottom number here is square root of 64 minus 1. Square root of 64 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. That's my bottom value. So my answer to this question is going to be whatever 28 divided by 7 is. 28 divided by 7 is 4. So all you do for this, if you've got the big division bar, everything on top, everything on the bottom, following order of operations, and then divide the two numbers. For our no symbol between number and parenthesis, this is easy, and I don't know, we've probably hinted at this before with some different things, but if you don't have a symbol in there, it's multiplication. Okay, so we can just stick that in there. So we can basically just do the parentheses, and then we've got that times 3 on the outside. So if we were doing this problem, I would do the multiplication on the parentheses first. So it looks like 6 times 2 would be 12. And we still have our times 3 on the outside there. Okay. Let's see, not that first we do that. So we have 5 times 1 is 5. And then 12 minus 5 is 7. And at this point, if there's only one thing inside the parentheses, you can lose the parentheses. That's fine. That doesn't make a difference. So my answer is going to be 3 times 7, which is going to be 21. Remember what our original problem looked like? Our original problem just had a 3 on the outside with no symbol. If you don't have a symbol, we're going to stick that multiplication sign in there. I think most of you are probably pretty used to this by now, so we'll probably just do 2 examples for the practice here. Here's the first one. So you might want to take some time to write this down. Maybe try it ahead of time. If you're not comfortable with that yet, that's perfectly fine. Just write it down and follow along with the video. This is going to be kind of hard to bring everything down just because we don't have a lot of room. But you still have to find a way to keep track of everything. So I'm going to go through this problem and look at things that I need to do first here. And I know that to make this easier, and I put this backwards just to kind of confuse you a little bit, but I've still got a number right beside a parenthesis, so that is still going to be my multiplication sign right there. I might as well lose the square root of 16. Okay, square root of 16 is going to be 4. I might as well do these sets of parentheses so I have them taken care of. 2 plus 2, 4, so that would be 8. So I can replace this whole thing with 8. Up here, I should do the same thing. 3 times 2 is 6, times 1 is still 6. So now I have 6. And we can lose those parentheses if we want to. But I still have that to the second power out there, so I can still simplify that. 6 to the second power is 36. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Okay, let's get the top all the way simplified before we worry about the bottom. 36 plus 4 is going to be 40. Okay. Now let's simplify the bottom. All we have is multiplication, division from left to right. 8 times 5 is 40. And then 40 divided by 10 is 4. Now we have a depending on how you think about it, fraction, 40/4, which we could just change to a mixed number. 4 would go into 40 10 times. Or just think about it as a division problem. 40 divided by 4. 40 divided by 4 is 10. Alright, other practice problem we'll do is this one. So go ahead and copy this down. Make sure you have everything exactly how it is on here. If you would like to try it by yourself first, that would be fine. Just pause the video. Otherwise, just follow along with what we have here. Let's replace all the unnecessary stuff here and get the symbols where we need it. Well, we got a number right beside a parenthesis. That's times. Right there. Okay. Another number right beside a parenthesis. Myself some more room here. That's times. We've got our big division bar here. Square root of 4. Dose. 1 to the third power is going to be 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. 1 to the fifth power, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, which is also 1. Okay. Now, let's see. We probably have some choices here. I would probably just go ahead and do the parentheses just to keep that order in your head here. In the parentheses, we have to do the 3 times 4 first. 3 times 4 is 12. Now we just have adding. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 12 is going to be 15. Alright, if I've only got one number in my parentheses, that really doesn't make any difference at all. I can just lose the parentheses if you want to. Okay. We could just get this times done knowing that we're not going to be able to add this over here until we simplify this down. So let's do the times first. 15 times 5 I think is 75. And then 75 times 5 looks like it's 375. Alright, before we go any further, we're going to have to simplify this thing down here. So we have to do the top, the bottom, then do the division bar. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Final answer, 376.